Here is Danny Fontana.
Hiya, kids. Welcome to the Danny Fontana Show. And pluck that magic twanger, Froggy. I am Danny Fontana, and this is your home for the news of the day from around the world, where we break down the surface of the headlines, economically, politically, and spiritually. And I promise you, you will not get the spiritual part in the mainstream media. That is for us to do. We inform you 5 days a week, weeknights beginning at 8:30 and again at midnight on the iLife Television Network. And then every Friday, this show is proud to broadcast to 50 million homes around the world on Inspiration Networks International. Send me your questions and your comments. I enjoy hearing what you have to say about exactly what we're doing here. Just send me an email to Danny at DannyFontanaShow.com, and I'll send you a free copy of my latest book. Go to the website, DannyFontanaShow.com, and cast your vote in our daily poll as well. Let's welcome in Augie Doggy and Daddy Doggy's favorite son, who I love very much, Casey Shannon. Hey, Case.
Hi, Dave. Good to be with you.
Now, see, when you do stuff like that, I have to explain that takes time away from our guests, so I'm not going to do that.
What's that you say, Dave?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's go to the Think line and welcome in Pastor James Richards. Now, I was at the Rethink conference in California recently, and during a break, we were doing some interviews, and we ran across Pastor Richards standing in the courtyard, and found out that he was doing mission work in Pakistan. And the story was so intriguing to me, I asked him to come on the show. Pastor Richards, hi.
Well, thank you, Danny, for having me on the Danny Fontana Show. I'm
very
excited to be here today.
Yes, it's a great pleasure to talk to you again, and I recognize that accent. Okay. Let's tell the folks about your missionary activities in Pakistan. You're focusing primarily on children, is that right?
Right. Well, New Horizons Missions. By the way, I want to just mention that we're an all-volunteer ministry of the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California, and we've actually been operating in remote villages of Pakistan, where we've so far started 5 churches and 5 Christian schools, and we preach, of course, the good news about salvation through Jesus Christ. But you're right, Danny, one of the most exciting and rewarding projects of all has been in helping hundreds of children who are trapped in hopelessness of poverty and illiteracy to receive the priceless gift of education, and we do this through our sponsorship program.
Amen. Let's tell folks exactly how you do that, Pastor Richards, and how they can get involved. Exactly what are you doing, what's it cost, and how can folks help you with this?
Well, we've discovered a very unique way of helping these children for a one-time gift of $59. Now, not $59 a month or $59 a year, but for one-time gift of $59, we're able to take these children and get them into the schooling system. And once they're in the schooling system, then we continue to have them go through that. And then they eventually, of course, most of them are graduating from high school. And the difference is between night and day. Look, these little children, I did send you a photograph, I don't know if you've got it there, but of
yeah, we'll put it up, yeah.
7- and 8-year-old kids out working on the streets, breaking stones. Their poor little bodies are just exhausted. And that's the only future they have without education. But with the education, things change for them. Their hopelessness turns to hope. And these people have been trapped for generations into this grinding poverty. And we have found that the key to get them out of this is education.
Are these orphans, Pastor Richards? Or
many of them are, but even those that are not orphans are the families. Well, you might say, well, $59, why can't their parents afford to get them into school? Well, we're talking about parents who are also living in abject poverty, where the daily struggle is to get one meal on the table. And so $59 for them would be the equivalent, say, of $50,000 for an American.
Yeah,
describe this. They just can't make that leap, and that's what we've been able to do.
Can you describe the typical Pakistani existence for me? Someone experiencing poverty in Pakistan. Can you describe to me exactly what that looks like?
Well, for example, in the villages where we operate, they don't have electricity. They don't have water. Now, we put on water, clean water. The water they're drinking is putrid and filled with disease. They have no access to medical at all. And so what we're doing in our villages is that we're providing clean water. We're providing immunizations, like, for example, all the diseases that we thought have gone in the world, like polio and TB and measles and hepatitis. These diseases run rife in these villages, and they have no medical supplies. So what we're doing is that, as well as the education, we're immunizing the children, and we're giving them the opportunity of if people we've saved many people that would have died from TB or polio. We've saved them by getting them prompt medical attention.
Describe the school for me. I've got this image of some kind of prefabricated one-room building. Describe it for me.
Well, in actual fact, let me just describe. There are two schools we're talking about. One is our own schools, and our own schools we operate in the huts of the people who are joining our church, and we also teach other children as well. We just don't restrict it to Christian children.
Right.
We'll invite any children in, and we have our own schools. And what we do, we teach them the basics, how to read and how to write, and the 3 R's. That's what we teach them there, and the Bible, of course.
Right.
But then to get them into the government schools, this is where we need the sponsorship, because it costs $59 to get them into that school, and that's like a regular school. But to get into the regular school, there's a registration fee. You've got to pay for the first years of books. There's the examination fees, and there's school uniforms. And once the child has completed 1 year and has passed the examinations, then the government kicks in, and it can continue in a government school right through until high school.
So that's why it's only $59.
That's why it's only $59. But this sort of barrier of $59 is
huge,
stopping the poor people from getting the education.
Yeah.
Now, because the government says, we give free education, but in actual fact, many millions of people cannot get over that first hurdle. And that's what we're doing. And it has worked so brilliantly. And, of course, now we have educated children that are going home, and they're reading the Bible and other things to their parents, and it's really opening up the lives of these people. And by the way, you've got to realize that in Pakistan there's a lot of extremists that are out there spewing out hatred about America. And in our own little way, we are telling people that Americans are loving people, are good people, are kind people, are generous people. And we're making a big impact in the areas that we're operating in. And
obviously, he's talking about the Taliban, folks. Okay, where are you based, Pastor? Are you in one city, or are you in several cities?
No, we're in 5 different villages scattered throughout Pakistan, and we don't operate in the cities, but we have a free hand in the rural areas. People don't really. We don't get anyone interfering with what we're doing.
Are you protected?
And as a matter of fact, the government likes us.
Yeah.
And they like what we're doing because we are providing education and medical services. And we've even done things like in one village we put on sewerage because the facilities they have are non-existent, really.
So you're protected. You're safe.
We are, and the police protect us. As a matter of fact, the government has even said to us, if we go to the next stage, which we don't have the money to do this, but if we were to go ahead and build a proper school in these villages, then they would provide us with 24 hours a day, 7 day a week armed protection.
Yeah, okay, I've got just about a minute. I've got just about a minute left, Pastor, so I want to raise you as much money as I can. Let's tell folks how they can get you a check.
Well, they need to go onto our website, which is newhorizonsmissions.com, and if they go onto our website, they can see many ways of helping us, and they will, and for a $59 donation, for example, they can sponsor a child. That child will come out of poverty and will be into the education. Oh, and by the way, the child will write to them, we'll give them a photograph of them, but they need to go onto our website. It's newhorizonsmissions.com.
Got it. newhorizonsmissions.com. We will put it on the screen, and I hope you got a ton of blessing coming your way. You're doing important work, Pastor Richards, and thank you so much for joining me today.